What does the word Jayanti mean? Like you have Hanuman Jayanti, you will have Krishna Jayanti, you have Ganesh Jayanti. What does the meaning, what does the word Jayanti mean? Anybody? Birth, right? The word Jayanti does mean birth. But the Vedas tell us Gayatri has no birth. So then how can we celebrate Gayatri Jayanti? Gayatri mantra is the only mantra that will continue to exist even after Pralay takes place. That is the dissolution of everything. When we talk about Gayatri Jayanti, this mantra Gayatri, now the Gayatri has nothing to do with this Devi here, right? Gayatri mantra has no presiding deity of it. So you will hear very often in Ganesh Gayatri, who is the presiding deity of Ganesh Gayatri? Lord Ganesh, right? You have the Durga Gayatri, who is the presiding deity? Lord Shiva. You have the Vishnu Gayatri, who is the presiding deity of the Vishnu Gayatri. And so on, right? So the different deities, all the deities, they have their own individual Gayatri mantra. Okay? But what we will refer to as Adi Gayatri, or the first Gayatri, and from that Gayatri, all the other Gayatris came, has no presiding deity. In the Gayatri mantra, we hear the word Tat Savitur Varenyam. That word Savitur means the effulgent one. It didn't give a name to that form. It just uses effulgence, light. Alright? So that light can represent any form of the Supreme Being. Okay? And because Gayatri mantra is not assigned to any one deity, it can be used for everything. That is why in all pujas and all auspicious offering, once the Gayatri is chanted, it enhances the quality and the devotion of that offering that you're doing. It has to form part of the avahanam or the invocation of all puja vidhis. Why? In our scriptures it tells us that they are what we call 33 crore devta. What do you mean by 33 crore devta?
10,000.
Not 10,000. 333 million devtas assigned to planet Earth alone. Alright? Now understand, Bhagavan Krishna says there is no limit to my form in Bhagavad Gita. But assigned to planet Earth, they are what we call 33 crore devta, which means that number in Sanskrit translates to be 333 million deities. Alright? Do you know the name of all of them? And think about it. If you're doing a yajna, especially, in which all the devatas are supposed to be present, do you have space on that day to invite all that devatas there individually? But by reciting Gayatri mantra, all that deities that are assigned to planet Earth gets pleased. Okay? So, Gayatri mantra has no presiding deity. It addresses the Brahman, the unmanifested form of God. The Devi Gayatri that is seen here is a representation of the Shakti, the power of the mantra. In Sanatana Dharma, the power and energy of the Devatas are portrayed as the form of the Devi. You all know that, right? So the Shakti of Lord Shiva will come as Parvati. The Shakti of Lord Vishnu will come as Lakshmi. The Shakti of Brahma will come as Saraswati, and so on. Okay? So to the power of the Brahman, the infinite, unmanifested being, come as when the rishis want to use imagery to teach us the power of what that power is, this form was created. Okay? So Gayatri has 5 parts to it. Okay? And it performs 10 functions. So if you look at the Devi herself, she has 5 heads and 10 arms. Rig Veda says she is supposed to have 3 feet. 3 feet, not 3 feet. Right? One of those 3 feet is Sandhya hour, the 3 Sandhya hour. Right? The Brahma Muhurat, the Abhijit Muhurat, and the Sandhya Kal, which we are in right now. Okay? deity of Gayatri mantra. Now, back to what is Gayatri Jayanti. So if this Gayatri Jayanti tells about the birth of Gayatri, and now I'm telling you that the Rig Veda says there is no birth of Gayatri because there is no birth of Bhagwan. God is infinite. Right? When he takes specific forms, then those specific forms will have an origin. But God in his infinite form has no origin. So what do we understand then by Gayatri Jayanti? Why do we celebrate Gayatri Jayanti on this occasion? To understand why Gayatri Mantra there was a time Gayatri Mantra was only known to the Devatas and to certain rishis. Those are the rishis that are attained the status of Brahma rishis. And they were the Sapta rishis, the Prajapatis, and the Manus and so on. Okay, that class of rishis. So the mantra was only known in the heavenly regions amongst the Devatas. And it was kept secret. Nobody on earth knew the mantras except for those qualified rishis who have become Brahma rishis. So Gayatri mantra was excluded from the majority of humanity then, at one point in time. Then came along a sage by the name of Vishwamitra, who himself is a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra, he had demonstrated the power of Gayatri. He was the first Rishi to use Gayatri and to demonstrate the power of Gayatri, and not only to demonstrate the power of Gayatri, but he also taught Gayatri to the ordinary people on earth. So the occasion on which Gayatri mantra was uttered by him on earth that day became known as Gayatri, since it represents the day Gayatri became known to everybody. So when we talk about the Gayatri Jayanti, it doesn't mean to say that the day the mantra came into existence or the Devi came into existence, not that at all. It simply means that the day that Gayatri mantra became accessible to everybody. Any questions up to there? Alright, so you all understand now why today is called Gayatri Jayanti. I don't want you to confuse, well, Gayatri mantra had a birth, but mantra had an origin, because Rig Veda says, since Brahman, that infinite being, has no beginning, no middle, no end, and Gayatri mantra represents that supreme being, therefore it continues to exist even after the dissolution of the physical universe. So there will come a time in which pralaya will take place and all of this physical existence will be reabsorbed. So all the rites and rituals and all everything will go back into nothingness. But Gayatri mantra itself will continue to exist. Alright? Even the physical, when pralaya takes place, even the physical form of the devatas don't exist. All of that is reabsorbed into Brahman. So when we speak of, when you hear about Gayatri Jayanti, it is not like Ganesh Jayanti or Hanuman Jayanti or Saraswati Jayanti. It is not that at all. Alright? The Jayanti of the other deities talks about the origin of that deity, that form, and the rites and rituals put into that form, as well as the function of that form. In order for this creation to come into existence, Gayatri mantra had to be resonating in the vast void of space. So how did Vishwamitra how did he demonstrate this power of Gayatri? In the pages of the Devi Bhagavad, in the Gayatri Samhita, tells us how Maharishi Vishwamitra demonstrated this ability. So I'll give it in summary, alright, because we have, if you notice, we have a packed schedule today, and we don't want to go beyond the 8 o'clock hour and so on. Okay? So Vishwamitra, he had attained the status of Brahma Rishi through his Gayatri Tapasya. take yajnas, that is the light, the big Havan, the rishis will pour the invocations to the sacred fire. Now the demons are aware of the power of Gayatri, right? Because Gayatri mantra is one of the mantras. The demons, they can't stand up against that. So every time Vishwamitra would start this yajna, the demons would come and spoil this yajna. And what they will do? Now you all know this katha from Ramayana. Okay? Every time Vishwamitra would start his oblations into the fire, what will happen? The demons will come and pour the blood and the bones and all the unclean things into the fire, spoil the yajna. And he went on like that many, many times. Every time he attempt, and he didn't change location, different sections of the forest and so on. Sometimes he would do it in the top of mountains, sometimes he would do it inside caves and so on, but on all occasions they would find him and they would stop the yajna. Because they know if he had completed the yajna, the rishis would have been such a power, become so powerful that their negative forces, that the demonic forces cannot withstand the power of Gayatri. That is why we advise everybody, it is recommended in scripture. Once you are born a human being, you are supposed to be chanting Gayatri mantra every day. Alright? Gayatri mantra, it takes time to build, the energy takes time to build. But once you maintain it and it builds, there is hardly any negative things to get through to you. Of course, to do that, you have to watch your lifestyle. You can't be eating, drinking, smoking, doing all kind of things, living it by today for tomorrow, and then you have to sit down like a big yogi in the morning, you're fooling yourself. It is written in our Dharma Shastra anytime, and not only for guidance, but everything you do. Anytime your lifestyle contradicts your puja, you're wasting time, you have no blessings to get. Your lifestyle must be in sync with your sadhana. Alright? That is why there is no one, like in Sanatana Dharma, there is no one fixed procedure to follow, because everybody is at a different stage in spiritual evolution. Unlike the other faiths that tell you, you have to do this, you have to believe in this, and if you don't do it, you're going to hell. That's the Abrahamic tradition. In Sanatana Dharma, there are a variety of ways, methods to approach God as there are personalities. That is why in Hinduism, if you believe God could be a stone, you could put a stone and worship it and God coming through that. And that is what God will do. Who say no? Or you know what I'm talking about? So what will do for a Shivlingam then? So if you tell yourself God could be a plant, and if do you puja through that, God will come through that. And so on. Okay? So Maharishi Vishwamitra, having tried on many occasions to conduct Gayatri Yajna, had failed. Being the great Brahma Rishi is, he had known that Narayan walks the face of the earth in the form of Shri Ram. So he decided to try a different approach. So he went and he met the Raja Dashrath and he explained the situation to him. And so a deal was struck between Raja Dashrath and himself that he would allow Shri Ram to accompany him to the forest when he is going to perform his yajna. And you all know this katha from small growing up. You all heard this many, many times. And so Shri Ram went with Vishwamitra to the forest, and as the yajna started, shortly after, the demons came to obstruct the yajna. And you all know what happened. Shri Rama and Lakshman, they battled the demons, they destroyed them, and for the first time, Vishwamitra was able to complete Gayatri Yajna. And the completion of that Gayatri Yajna now gave him a certain status and a certain ability. Many years after, in that same region, there was a terrible drought. And so many, many things were dying. Plants were dying, animals were dying, even the rivers were starting to dry up. And so there was a king by the name of Satyavrat. He was so attached to his physical beauty. He was described as being a very handsome individual, but he was so taken up with himself that he was so attached to his physical beauty he decided that when it is his time to pass on from this world, he wants to enter into heaven in his physical body, which is something it can happen, it happen on one or two occasions, but for the majority of us, it is not something that is permitted. Okay? So, he approached his guru. Satyavrat guru was Vashish Rishi. The same Guru Vashish was Shri Ram's guru. That was, he was like the dominant guru at that time. So he was also the guru of Satyavrat. And so he approached his guru and he explained to his guru what his desires are. His guru told him, according to Vedanta, that is not appropriate. You have to give up the body in order to evolve further and eventually enter. And so no matter how the guru tried to explain to him, he keep harassing the guru day after day after day. Coming by the Guruji at the Ashram, I was talking to Guruji, do I get here for men? I want to go to heaven in my body. Yeah, I know some auditors come and say, think I'm going good, do one press in my bank account going low. So, like this, eventually Guru Vashish got angry with him and get fed up with him and said, oh Satyavrat, because of your vanity you shall suffer. I pronounce the Sarapani. The same body you are attached to, you shall become a Chandal. And so he cursed him and immediately his body became charred, full of sores and infected. Lupus, leper. He became a leper then. Okay? And sores all over his body. And so he became very ugly and very disfigured. And anybody who knew somebody suffering with leper, you know, that is something that disfigure you, right? Your joints and fingers start to dissolve and so on. So he became like that. But despite his condition, he never gave up the idea of going to heaven in his body. And during the course of the famine, food was becoming scarce. Vishwamitra had left at that time to go into the Himalayas, into one of the mountain peaks, to perform intense tapasya and perform Gayatri in that region of the world. And his family remained there in the Dandak forest, and they experiencing the famine. Satyavrat, although he is now suffering as a result of his guru's curse, he still performed his duty as a king. So he knew Vishwamin family was there and they were suffering. So what he did, he used his resources to take care of his wife and children. Alright, the wife and children of Vishwamin Rishi. And so the famine lasted for about 7 years. Vishwamin went away for more than that. And when he returned, he's questioning his wife, how did you suffer the terrible famine? And so she starts to tell them, Satyavrat had provided sustenance for us during that period of time. He brought food from far off places and left it on the door. He never went inside the cottage. He left at the door because he was in this polluted state then. Alright? And he left food there and she would go and collect it. Like something like what happened after last year. When they had COVID, they bring food and leave it by a gate. When you go, they come and they collect the food and thing, right? So it is not far-fetched to think that something like that could have happened. So, having heard of the kindness of Satyavrat, Vishwamin knew of his suffering, and so having met him, he asked, what do you want? As I wish to give you something. I wish to reward you for the service you have done towards my family. Right? And so this was in keeping with the traditions like serve the saints and so on. So Satyavrat, even though he was suffering, the saintly ones, the holy ones, he performed this service not only to Vishwamin family, but to the rishis, to the family of the rishis who were living in that region there. So he made sure they had enough food and enough things to sustain themselves during the period of time of the famine. Vishwamin, as a gesture of gratitude, he asked Satyavrat, what do you want? What it is that you desire? And immediately Satyavrat says, I want to go to heaven in my body. Alright? So Vishwamit, he was taken aback, and so he too tried to explain to Satyavrat, the rules of Vedanta doesn't permit you, and now that you are in the form of a Chandal, it is now more impossible than it was before. And so he keeps insisting, if anything has to be given to me, let it be this. So Vishwamit said, if that is what you want, that is what you will get. And so Vishwamit sent an invitation throughout the community, the forest community. He's going to perform Gayatri Yajna for the benefit of Satyavrat. And so he extends an invitation to all of them. But nobody showed up. Why? Because they had known that Shri had pronounced a salap on Satyavrat. And in them days, anyone who had leper, they were scorned and shunned by all in society. Even up to recently in Trinidad, that was the case, right? You all know you used to house the lepers and off one of the islands up to recently, when I say up to recently, to the 1980s and so on. Huh? You all know that, right? So, now with the advancement of medical sciences, that fear, that stigma is no longer there. Alright? At least from a societal point of view. So, nobody showed up. So Vishwamit told Satyavrat, you sit down on the opposite side of the mountain, and two of us will perform this yajna alone. And so Vishwamit lighted the sacred fire with the accompaniment of mantras. And then he starts to pour the oblations into the sacred fire. And as he poured the oblations into the sacred fire, and the fire blazed bigger and bigger, the Gayatri mantra was being chanted in cycles of 108. And there came a time after Vishwamit was satisfied that the energy of Gayatri had built enough after sitting down on the offering. Now this was going on for days at a time. So there was a few days where they were sitting there doing this now, and Vishwamit says, O Satyavrat, prepare yourself to ascend heavenwards. And so he gave the command, O Satyavrat, by the power of Gayatri, I order you to ascend to the heavens. And so the body of Satyavrat started raising from where he was sitting, and he was going upwards. And so he passed the clouds, he reached the clouds, he passed the clouds, but beyond the atmosphere now. And so the Devatas in Swargalok, they are looking on and seeing all of this taking place. And so the Devatas, they alert Indra Dev. So Indra, there's a Chandal that is coming heavenwards in his body. What should we do? And so Indra armed himself with all his divine weapons, and he approached the gates of heaven, of Swargalok. And he says, stop whoever you are, stop where you are. Where are you going? And so he introduces himself. He said, I am Satyavrat. Under the curse of my Guru, I have attained this form, but with the help of Vishwamit, I am coming to heaven. And so Indradev says, no, you cannot enter to heaven in this polluted form. Go back down to heaven. So he starts falling. He starts falling like how rain will fall from the sky. Very fast. And as he cleared the cloud coming back down to the earth now, he shouts out to Vishwamit, oh Vishwamit, save me, I am falling. And so Vishwamit, when he heard this, he looked up. And he says, oh Satyavrat, I ordered you to stay there. Who sent you down? And so while he's falling, he's telling Indradev, send me down. And he said, stop. And he stopped, paused right where he is. And then he says, oh Satyavrat. And he continues with the Gayatri offering now. Go back up to the heavens. By the power of Gayatri, you have to ascend again. And so he started going up. And this time Indra is pushing and Vishnu is descending. So he comes like a freeze in the middle there. But the power of Gayatri was so intense that even though the Devatas was using their spiritual abilities to keep him there, slowly he was inching closer and closer to the heavenly regions. Now there's a lot of science behind this, and you'll see just now. And so when Vishwamit saw the devatas willingly try to keep someone out of heaven, he gets angry. Now Vishwamin is known for his temper, just like Parshuram and Durvasa. Actually, these three individuals, Durvasa, Parshuram and Vishwamin, they are known as the Krodhi Rishis. And they were created specifically to teach, well, those delinquent humans then a lesson in a harsh way. In other words, they just be quick to punish. Right? And each one of them, they were devotees of one of the three forms. So they had Parshuram being an incarnation of Vishnu, Durvasa incarnation of Shiva, and Vishwamin, he is a devotee of the Divine Mother. Alright, so you have each one of these rishis assigned to one of these three deities. Okay, and each one of them did, as you know, the history of Parshuram and Durvasa. It will be very easy to serve those who offend or transgress the laws of their God. Okay, so to Vishwamin is like that. So he says, if this devotee does not have a place in your heaven, then I will create a heaven where he will be welcome. And so, through the power of Gayatri, Vishwamin intends the Gayatri yet. And he started creating a new Brahma, a new Vishnu, a new Shiva. He started creating a new Brahmanda, a new universe. He started to create a new Sheshna, a new everything that this universe has. And seeing all of this, all of the devatas became alarmed, but they never saw this before. And so Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra, and all the other devatas, they intervene and say, oh Vishwamin, stop this work of yours. This creation already has a universe in it. There cannot be two universes existent. But Vishwamin had already brought these things into existence. So Bhagavan Vishnu says that this creation of Vishwamin served as a seed or the nursery for future universes. So those of you who are in the astronomy, you will hear about something called in interstellar space, or if you are a fan of Star Trek, you will hear it very often. In interstellar space, there are regions in interstellar space they call the nebulas. And what is a nebula? It is a place where stars, solar system, galaxy, planets are born. It is the nursery of the universe then. So that region, those nebula, or nebulae, as is in plural is, originated as a work of Vishwamin Rishi. And even up to today, any astronomer will tell you if they want to see a star being born, or if you want to see a galaxy being born, or a new solar system coming into existence, you just have to focus your telescope into where the nebulas are, and you'll be able to see those things. Okay? So, this is your Sanatan Dharma. It's only in the last century astronomers were telling you these things. These things are recorded here thousands of years ago. Alright? It is only when Galileo invented a telescope, then he had, before Galileo, he had something called the geocentric theory and the heliocentric theory. You know what those things are? Physics, students of CXC physics. Heliocentric theory, geocentric theory. What do you know about geocentric? Geo refers to the Earth, which simply says the Earth is the center of the universe and all the planets, including the Sun, revolves around it. That is the view that is held by the Catholic Church. Right? When Galileo showed that through his telescopes that the Earth is the sun, Helios. Helios is Greek for the sun. Right? So you have Helios, and in Roman they will tell you about Apollo. Okay? But the same Greek, the same Roman Apollo becomes the Greek Helios, which is Mitra or Surya in Hinduism. Okay? So they were telling you had 9 planets. Right? In the Galileo time, confirmed that there are 9 planets. Rick Vane Purushta, Shukra, Shani, or the names of Purushta, Shukra, Shani, Rahu, Ketu. Right? It tells you that there are 9 grahas, 9 planetary forces outside here. When our ancestors was composing Mahabharata and Ramayana in India, people on this side of the world still think the earth was flat. But when you look at the picture of Varaha, Varaha is raising a circular globe out of the waters. So Sanatan Dharma was telling you years ago, we don't have a flat earth, we have a round earth. And you all have seen the picture with Varaha raising planet Earth on his snout. So all of this science is there in your scriptures long before Western science had confirmed these things. So this concept of the nebula, which exists in Gayatri Samhita, modern day astronomers, they are just confirming what it does. And this, today they are using scientific equipment and satellites to look into space and see these things. How did our rishis get to know these things? They didn't have satellite. There was 5,000 years ago, Shri was a solar rocket. Huh? No. So how did they get to know all of this? They will sit in meditation and they use the power of their third eye. They will have the ability, and there are some humans amongst us still, some spiritual people amongst us, when they sit in meditation, they can connect to something called the Akashic records. And the Akashic records is like God's library, and put it like that, simply put it like that. But it is not a record of only everything that happens in this creation. It is a record of everything that happens since creation exists. Since there is no beginning of God, the knowledge that is existing in the Akashic records is infinite. Because all the Vedas that we have here to govern this cycle of creation, it concludes with na-iti. The words na, it concludes in a negative way. Na-iti meaning this is not all. And even the great Vyas who rearranged the Vedas, he says what he has put down here is only what is allowed for this cycle of creation, and it is not even merely skimming the surface of the vastness of what knowledge is in reality. And there are some people, some yogis and some spiritual people, when they sit, they can. That is how we are able to know things before it happens. Alright? They have the ability to connect. And some people have the ability to connect more deeply into their Akashic than others. Alright? So, having pleaded with Vishwamitra to give up this work that he is doing, said only under the condition that Satyavrat enters into heaven in his physical body. This is what I have promised him as a gratitude for the service he has done to my family, and this is what he shall receive. This is what that karma that he has performed serving my family when I was not around to take care of them. This is the blessing that he deserves. And seeing that he was not willing to relent, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva combined their spiritual energy and they blessed Satyavrat in such a way that the Chandal body was given up and he regained his human form, beautiful, resplendent human form. And so, under the command of God Brahma, Indradev permitted Satyavrat to enter into Swargaloka in that body. Alright, so this is the episode that tells us of the power of Gayatri mantra. Vishwamitra is the type of rishi, he never used too much of different type of procedures. He never worshipped many different gods and deities. His focus was only on Gayatri. And he attained his greatness through the power of Gayatri alone. So, dear devotees, today's episode was really to make sure you understand mean by Gayatri Jayanti and the potency of this Gayatri mantra. That is why after this episode, the same Lord Brahma, having seen the power of Vishnu has demonstrated, he declares that once the soul has attained human birth, it is the birthright of all human beings to use Gayatri mantra. So in other words, once you have attained human birth, Lord Brahma, who is the original creator of everything, he gives you an inheritance then. You are entitled to claim your inheritance from him. And what is that inheritance? You have the right to use Gayatri mantra. So there is where Gayatri became universal. It didn't belong to any class, any caste, any creed, any color, any race. Just as Gayatri mantra was used by the Devatas and the Rishis, it was now used by the ordinary individual and even the outcast. Because when Satyavrat was in Chandalpur, I was an outcast. He was an outcast at that time. Alright? Everyone benefited. Further down in Gayatri Samhita it tells you, like the lesser creatures, if they are wrong way of chanting Gayatri mantra, or they eat the offerings that are offered Gayatri mantra, alright? When they are reborn in human form. That is the power of Gayatri. Okay? So we have looked at the power of Gayatri mantra, and we looked at the origin, how Gayatri Jayanti came about. So those of you who have your offerings to do, you can start to organize yourself. You'll come up and do your offerings over here, and then we'll have our Gayatri hour. Friends, Shri Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. So you feel free to share the prasad with each other, but as rules dictate, from prayers, whatever you do outside of the offering, make sure some of it goes back to your home. Okay? That's where the blessings get transferred back. Now, on Friday, we'll be having another occasion like this. And we'll be celebrating Kartikeya Jayanti. Kartikeya, as you know, is another son of Lord Shiva, brother of Lord Ganesh. And all of you are invited to participate in it. What is the importance of Kartikeya? The times we are living in, his importance is very significant. Kartikeya, like Lord Ganesh, has two wives. I was telling on Sunday morning. One, Shri Devi, which you are supposed to know. That is the Devi you all worship for the 6 days and the 12 days. She's the Devi that stays with all little babies till they're a year old. Okay? So she's the protector of little babies then. Okay? So I want you to see the function of Kartikeya. Then the other wife is Deva Sena. In other words, her name is the power of the divine weapons. Kartikeya is the commander of the army of the Devatas. Alright? So he's a military commander. In Greek philosophy, he is called Ares. In Hinduism, he is Kartikeya. In both philosophies, he is the general or the commander of the celestial armies. Alright? Now, how important is he personally here? Friday, I will do a particular discourse which will let you know how important he is. Alright? All I'm going to ask you now, including the Devatas, everybody must have a guru, right? Isn't that so? All human beings, you are required to have a guru. Isn't that so? Does the Devatas require a guru? Huh? What happened? You can answer? Do the Devatas need a guru? Yes, remember there is Parameshwari, who is like the general guru, but the Devatas do have the individual guru. For example, although Parameshwari is the guru of all the Devatas, let us take Hanuman for example, who everybody is worship. Who is Hanuman's specific guru? Surya. Very good. Right? So you all know what I'm talking about there. Okay? So the reason why I'm telling you this, so when we do the discourse on Friday, you'll be able to make the connections. Alright? Kartikeya, he presides, like I said, he's a military commander, so therefore he destroys and that threatens you. Specifically, anything to do with crime, And not any ordinary crime, things that deal with terrorism, things that deals with what we call human trafficking nowadays, things that deal with rape, things that deal with torture, things that deals with murder. Kartikeya is the one that gives protection from these things. Alright? He was created, he came into existence because of a boon Lord Brahma had given a demon by the name of Tarakasur. After the death of Sati, Shiva's first wife, Shiva locked himself away in meditation, forgetting about the care of the universe. Brahma and Vishnu were fulfilling his role. At that time, Tarakasur started to reign terror, and the boon that he asked of Lord Brahma, when he asked for immortality, Lord Brahma said, he cannot get that. So he said, then let the son of Shiva be my destroyer. Knowing fully well in his mind that Shiva is not interested in family life anymore. So Lord Brahma says, so be it. But when you feel you're too smart and you can fool God, it has a way of turning around, and that becomes the source of your destruction. So Kartikeya came into existence as the son of Shiva, and Tarakasur was destroyed at a young age of 7 years. And there is a reason why in astrology it had to happen at that age. Okay? And I'll tell you about that Friday again. And that is why there are certain rites and rituals when children born under certain planets. The parents have to do certain prayers for them before they reach a certain age. You will get all that information on Friday. Okay? So all of you come to do your Kartikeya offering just like what you do here. What is the specific prasad of Kartikeya? Kartikeya is a high energy person. He presides over the planet Mars, which is a very masculine, a very dominating planet. Right? When your children hyper, most of the time, what is it they consume? Sugar. So all sugary preparation, more specifically in the scriptures, is what we call jalebi. That is Kartikeya's specific sweet. Anything that is sugary can also be offered like mango, like the what do you call it, fat purwani? Right, whatever you call it. That, and anything that is dipped in a lot of sugar or sugary syrup can be offered to Kartikeya. In the line of fruits, he likes a lot of natural fruits, so anything that is red outside, anything that is red on the outside can be offered to him too. Okay? His color is red, his day is Tuesday. All of these information will be explained to you more. I just give you the information to know, for you to be able to prepare yourself to come and do his worship and to know how serious his worship is, especially what's going on in this country and the times we are living in. Okay? So come Friday, starting same time, 5:30, and the format will be just like this. Winning. You didn't plan to do any Hawan anything, right?
Yes.
Kartikeya Hawan, plan to do that?
Yes.
Alright. So you can come prepared to do your Hawan, who interested and all, but everybody will be given a chance to come up and do their prasad offering, just like what you did today. You do a upachar offering, that is your flowers, your perfume, your chandan, your prasad, and your arati. Okay? So you have another opportunity Friday to come and do your offering. It is Kartikeya Jayanti. And it's for safety and protection, not only of the children, but of course of yourself. Okay? So at this point in time, those of you who come prepared to do Hawan, what you'll do is send chairs back. Alright? You don't have to pack them away because some of you may want to do Hawan, some of you will not want to do Hawan. Those who come start to occupy from the front end, go backwards. Get your little baby boy